Sundays with Steve. This morning, be glad that you weren't here with me, because last night there was a bit of a blow. There was like wind just howling up here, and that actually causes a little speedboat. That causes a swell to come in, and when the swell comes in, the boat just bounces all over the place because it's like an echo chamber in here, and the waves and swell just bounce off all the concrete surfaces, and it makes the boat turn into like a tumble dryer. It's actually not that much fun. But when I woke up in the morning, my table had dislodged itself, fallen over, smashed one of my computers that I can probably get working again, but I don't know, we'll see, and just made a mess. And then I'm like, oh, fuck, I should go check the dinghies there. And I went outside and Poffles was gone. And I'm like, motherfucker. And then Tony reckoned he saw one over there on the sort of beach. And we went over there and it wasn't mine. And then Isaac, who's another Maltese guy around here, said, I think I saw yours right over there. And we were like, no. But he's like, yeah, no, it's further. And I'm like, okay. So we went over and found my dinghy. The weird thing was that I have an air tag on it, and the air tag said it was about half a kilometer that way. Like up behind these houses. No, it wasn't. It was just over there. So we got it back, and that's all good. So got a bit of a mess to clean up. But yeah, dinghy good. Ukraine. You probably keep seeing in the media that Ukraine is not doing that well. Ukraine is doing outstandingly well. All things considered, yes, people are still dying, but way more Russians are dying. And it's just not... It's very strange, because the people I'm getting the information from are people who've just been in Ukraine, and they see what's going on and they follow it closely. I mean, it's an hourly thing. It's not even daily. It changes every hour. But yeah, Ukraine's doing fine. And then you read, I mean, you talk to some Republicans and they're like, yeah, but Zelensky's a crook. And you're like, no, he's not. He's probably not perfect, but damn, the guy has got some balls. And he's having to suck up to Trump, who just keeps getting shafted by Putin, and it's like, no. But Zelensky's got to be nice. Zelensky's got to be nice to Trump, because Trump's got access to equipment, armaments. But here's the thing: the US isn't giving any assistance to Ukraine. They're selling weapons that end up in Ukraine, but they're not actually doing anything to help. They might be providing some intelligence, but the Swedes and the Europeans, and they're all providing intelligence, but they're not actually giving anything. So don't get caught out there, but we're not helping them at all. We should, but they're not. And Russia's a mess. They're having to import gasoline. Russia, who's one of the biggest exporters of fuel oil, is now having to import gasoline because they don't have enough. Because the Ukrainians have just smashed their infrastructure for the distilleries, not the distilleries, the refineries, and the pumping stations, because if they all come together and they go out, there's a pumping station here. So the Ukrainians will just hit the pumping station and knock out thousands and thousands of square miles of oil distribution. Like, there's whole areas, especially not Moscow, not St. Petersburg. It's like, no, it's all the other areas. Putin's trying to keep Moscow supplied with oil, but it's not looking good. They've got big oil shortages now, and that's when the Russian people, who see drones flying over and smashing into refineries and posting it online, they're now going, wait a minute, why is another refinery burning? Why can't I get? So now they're getting the impact of being at war. It's not good. They seem to have like just tolerated it, going, oh yeah, Ukraine bad, Putin good, yay, we're winning. Now they're not winning. They're absolutely not winning. I don't think it's fully gone over the apex of the corner, but it's getting there. Another Su-30 got destroyed. Might have been shot down with friendly fire, but it's another one gone. I don't know. I really wish it would end, but I don't see how it's going to end, because Putin will not back down and the Ukrainians won't back down either. I mean, imagine if like the US got invaded by Mexico and they took over Texas and Arizona and New Mexico, and then they said, okay, we'll stop invading, but we're keeping this. How would you feel about that? So no, the invasion will be over when all the Russians who are in the Ukraine right now are gone. And they keep talking about negotiating a peace settlement. Bullshit. There's no peace settlement until you get the fuck out. Once you're out, we'll talk. But there won't be much talking because you're already gone. And so, more power to the Ukrainians who've stood up very, very, very well to the bully that Putin is, and the useless. I mean, Biden helped, but he didn't help enough. Putin's just got Trump wrapped around his little finger, and you know, it's like Trump actually said, "I'll give you tomahawks." I'll give you. And then he spoke. Then Putin was like, "Whoa, fuck!" Got him on the phone, talked him out of it, and then like 10 minutes later, Trump is like, "Yeah, we're not going to give you tomahawks." And you're like, "You fucking idiot!" So it's going to drag on, but at least it's dragging on, and the longer it drags on, the better it is for Ukraine. But I've got friends who are over there, and they post photographs, and people are still dying, and buildings are getting destroyed. The Ukrainians are still just hitting infrastructure and military targets. If they were hitting apartment buildings, we'd know about it, but they're not. So, I don't know. Anyway, that's my little rant. I've got to go and make my outboard motor start now. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.